Now that I feel a little bit better, it's been a couple days, I can actually talk a tiny bit more without feeling like complete agony. So I thought, I would make a simple, humble video on good old Mamba Smith, one of NASCAR's advocates for the modern day of everything great, gold, and grand. So this isn't the first time I mentioned him. I might have mentioned him in other random videos or streams, but you know what? I'm just the rant guy now. I'm the NASCAR hater. I already gave away my NASCAR, exclusive fan club card. Like that's not here anymore. I'm certified hater. I need to have a shirt about that. So we have Mamba Smith's tweet here. I don't know what you call it. Is it an X post? I don't know what it is anymore, but basically it was a quote tweet of the Winston Cup points, basically saying that Tyler Reddick would be, in theory, running away with the championship, even though he doesn't really even have a one full race lead. And if we've seen anything from Martin Truex Jr. last year, Kyle Busch 2008, Jamie McMurray in 2004, where he went from like 11 to 6 in the last 10 races. So much could still change in the last 10 races that Tyler Reddick could literally completely choke. Chase Elliott could randomly just be amazing. Brad Keselowski could still, in theory, make up a 309 points or 303 points. Bell still technically has a shot if he goes absolutely insane. Same with Buescher, same with Larson, honestly. And same with Byron, same with Gibbs. I would say a top 8. Top 7 relatively can make one insane comeback and do something. And we also have Atlanta and Talladega to kind of, jumble all this up. So the season's not dead yet. Unlike this narrative that's trying to be mentioned and trying to dethrone the Winston Cup thing. But we'll read his tweet here. So he says, "I'm so glad you posted this, folks. Third would be 303 points back right now. Reddick would be able to cruise and would more than likely have this thing wrapped up with the races to come." I like how we're saying this early. You'll never convince me that the old way is better for the sport's growth. That's, again, when did he start becoming a fan? I need to ask this question. Was it after 2006? Because objectively, NASCAR's ratings in terms of the playoffs year by year start even as early as 2010, went from 5 million to then 3.4 million, then to 3. It's been decreasingly has lost interest to the general public in terms of, we look at the raw TV ratings. When we look at Real Radman's tweet here, 2022 3 million, 2014 5 million viewers, 2010 5.6. So, looking at the numbers objectively, factually true is that the playoffs have not made the sport better in terms of generating an audience. If there was an argument where it does generate more people tuning in for the finale or just the last 10 races in general, then you know what, I could sit here and be like, you know what, I disagree with it, but you know what, people are tuning in. It's at least working, but it hasn't. It hasn't worked since 2006 was the last year where I think ratings went up as in the playoffs and in the last race and stuff. So it has not worked in 18 years. So this narrative that it's better for the sport's growth is just wrong. It's just factually wrong. And his replies to people have been snarky, has been shitty. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're going to be on Twitter, and honestly, if he had a check mark, this would have been a genius strat. Because then I could think, well, he's making money off the tweets, so it would be better to just kind of troll and kind of start shit. I would almost be okay with that. But no, he's not. Well, then again, he probably makes way more working with NASCAR than Twitter would ever pay him. So I guess that really doesn't mean anything. But I would at least understand the grift. But no. Because I need to find Elite Precision's post. Because Mamba replied to him in such a douchey way. It's like, I need to find this. I find another tweet. "Where is this growth, Mamba? This has been the same exact format since 2017 or 2014 without stage points. And in every metric except attendance at some places, we are still down from 2014 and a plateau from 2017 numbers." I know Twitter is kind of a cesspool for garbage, but once in a while you'll get that like 5% of rational people that make sense. Because yes, exactly. It's this like gaslighting or trying to twist the narrative. And if you're gonna support NASCAR and everything they do, the best thing to do is shut the fuck up about shit like this, because you're gonna embarrass yourself so much if you're gonna try and sit here and defend the format. The only argument that I keep seeing people say is, well, this is the game, and it's Chris Buescher's fault that he didn't make it because he didn't execute. It's like, he executed fine Darlington. It's not Buescher's fault that Tyler Reddick threw it into a corner and walled him and made him lose 30 spots. It's not Buescher's fault that he got doored while being side by side with Larson that stalled his momentum. And it's so comical, the defensive shit. And the arguments presented is, well, it's never going to change, so stop complaining about it. Or, this is the game, you have to accept it. But it's like, what if I don't like the game? What if I hate the game and how everything's formatted? Well, Dave Moody would say, well, then just stop watching. That's like his argument to everything. Well, if you don't like it, then don't watch. That's a wonderful way of garnering an audience, by the way. It's just literally just telling them all to just leave. And you know what they have? They have. When we look at the viewership, 5.6 in 2010 to 3 million. That is still, what? I don't know the exact percentage of a drop, but a 35-40% drop. So yeah, every instance of Dave Moody just people being on the phone and calling them and saying this shit of their complaints and stuff, and then Dave Moody's like, well, if you don't watch, and then hangs up. I don't even know why he has a talk show. I don't know why he interviews people if this is the type of attitude he's going to give. You think I'm bad, you think other people are bad. That's like shitty for someone in his position. It's one thing to have a, no bum, shlum, bum, hum like me do that, which I don't know when the last time I think I replied to one person saying, like, this is the facts, you gotta accept it. It's like, but I'm literally leaving at the end of this year, and that doesn't really mean. I'm not telling people don't watch, and don't come back. All of this is just such a shit show, and it's fun to kind of watch from the grand sides. But I want to find Elite Precision's tweet, because Mamba Smith replied in such a douchey way where Elite Precision linked Slapshoe's the Dam of Legitimacy, and Mamba Smith is like, what's this video of yours, big boy? And it's like, what is this like attitude? Like, if this is the type of attitude you're going to give towards anyone, then don't reply to people. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. It just comes off snarky. And it's such a... It's gross to have someone in his position be so snarky with fans. Especially in this case, now granted, Twitter, he might, he's just probably assuming Elite Precision is just like a douche or something, which he's not. He's one of the most chill people, rational people ever. So to consider, I know him a tiny bit just from seeing him in my streams or just seeing videos of him. I know he's not coming at him with a shitty attitude. But Mama's just assuming so, and it comes off shitty because he says, I think you need to sit down and watch this video when you get the chance. And he says, I need context as to why and what it is. And I may humor you on it. This is all you gotta do, big guy. This is all you gotta do. You click the video, and you read the title. That's all you gotta do. It's nothing complex. Is it really that hard to click the link and just read the fucking title? But then he's like, oh, what you got, big guy? What? That's so shitty. That's such a douchey way to approach everything. Why even interact with people? I mean, why even make the post in general? It's so... All this just doesn't need to happen. It just doesn't. But this is the same topic we're in every year. Dave Moody. Again, Dave Moody's like the same person that literally will block anyone for disagreeing or just has an overall shit attitude. I really should just make a live stream with, like, how quick can Dave Moody block me? Because I swear, within at least 24 hours, I can probably get blocked for just probably disagreeing with him in a rational human sense. I see Chris Benoit in the sports trending, and I'm just like, that's kind of how I feel about modern NASCAR right now. Oh God, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just an unnecessary tweet. And even if we go to Racing Reference here, which I'll do very quickly here, because I don't think the Wisdom Cup format's even the ideal way to look at the points, just because they're not factoring in stage points, and I think drivers' mentality of stuff is different with the stage points in mind. So you kind of need to think of the whole picture, and I do think if we're gonna look at the points, we need to at least look at the Racing Reference version where it factors in stage points and stuff. And we look at stage points, we got an interesting point battle. Tyler Reddick, 1 point ahead Larson. Larson would, in theory, would have easily won the regular season had he just run Charlotte, or if NASCAR just not literally, ended all proceedings of finishing the race. Even though there was a story with Gibbs saying that they were really close to calling drivers to the car, and then they literally canceled it, and it was perplexing and weird. And it was basically a TV decision. So all the people that wanted Larson to have a shot at the double, you could thank the TV networks for that, because that whole thing was shitty. Because the track was pretty close to being done, and they just kind of nuked their own storyline. So even as a Larson certified hater, would have at least been morbidly curious to see how that would have gone. But no. But hey, still, we got interesting points battle. Chase Elliott, still 29 now. Christopher Bell, 77. He's actually over one race back. But he's still, factoring in Atlanta and Talladega, two absolutely insane wild cards, he may have a shot. Hell, even William Byron. Hell, even Ryan Blaney. Hell, even Denny Hamlin. Hell, even Brad Keselowski if things get really crazy. Then again, the last 10 races, as we've seen throughout the history of the sport, well, just in 3 examples here. Jamie McMurray from 2004, he went from 11th in points. He had an amazing last 10 races where he had 7 or 8 top 10 finishes. I looked it up right now because, I don't want people thinking I'm making up numbers and shit, because the shit I'm saying is just factual truth. Because it's happened throughout the course of history. I'm sure if I were to sit here and just go through every year and kind of comparing the drafts, we'll be here for 5 hours trying to, dissect everything and prove my point. But I just want to name a couple of examples. So in 2004, we're looking at the points here. McMurray's 11th here after Richmond. And then by the time we get to Homestead, he is around 6th in points, I think. He had an amazing last 10 race stretch. Same with Tony Stewart in 2006, by the way. Same with Kyle Busch, where he actually had a late season collapse in the last 10 races. He went from 1st to 4th in the standings, or something like that. He fell. Truex, other example. It's happened. Tony Stewart, 2011, was 10th in points, or 9th in points or something, or 11th or something in points, and then he had an amazing last 10 run stretch. So saying that the season's done and over with already is a bit fucking ridiculous, honestly. And no, Reddick's not going to run away with 3. You can't assume that with 10 races left. It'll be a whole different story if Reddick had 1,000-point lead on everyone. Then sure, we can argue that. See if Murray gets up to 6th. So that's just one among many examples. So thinking that the season's already wrapped and over with because Reddick has almost a 1 full race lead is fucking ludicrous. Now, if it was a 2007 situation where Jeff Gordon just absolutely mollywopped the field to such an embarrassing extent after race 26, okay, if it was 300 points, then you know what? Maybe you got an argument, but that doesn't always happen. In the last 2 years, it's been pretty interesting. Not every year is going to be interesting, but that's what makes these races and everything interesting, is because not every year are you expected a Game 7 moment. And even in real life, Game 7 moments don't happen every game of every year, all the time. I think the percentage of a Game 7 moment, do I got to look this up too? Oh, look at that. Game 7 moments, 24.7% of the time? Well, in NASCAR, it's 100% of the time every single year. Not 20, no, it's 100%. But the point is, NASCAR this year has had, 10 overtime finishes? I think it's in my Discord. I think I had it listed somewhere. Oh, look at me. Past me did it. Yeah, look at that. 2004, 3, 2005, 10. There's a lot of them. 2024, this was 9, but it's been since then it's been updated, so it's really 10, or is it 11 now with Daytona? I don't know. But either way, point is, a lot of overtimes. Either way, what I'm getting at is this whole thing is ridiculous, silly, and there was even there was something where he was saying like football. It's because of football the ratings are down, but it's like NASCAR has dealt with football in the at the end of the season every year for many decades now. And for a period of time, at least in the 90s and early 2000s, they were at least able to compete with them relatively decently. Now, it's such an overwhelming difference between the two. So, no, it's not because football just magically just got more popular and that's why NASCAR is going. That's no. The gaslighting is annoying, or just a lack of knowledge. Like, I don't know if he would, like, he's just become a fan in, like, 2007, or if he's, I don't know if he's, like, how old is he? When did he get into NASCAR? Where are these metrics? His post should not have been made. And the arguments for the playoffs continue to be nonsensical. And we have the yearly debate of it, which gets me more views and therefore more pennies. So, I guess it's a win for everyone. And it's just another, pointless talking point. So, what do I got to say about it? What else is there new to discuss? So, yes, point is, NASCAR media, don't take their words the gospel. Always think critically and don't just blindly believe what they say, because sometimes, and in some cases, a lot of time, it's just PR bullshit because they can't say what they really want, so they got to sugarcoat stuff, and it's just nonsense. So, think for yourselves. That's all I'm saying. This whole thing's stupid, but it's been fun to read. It's been fun to watch. So thank you for the content. I appreciate it. Bye. I'll see you when something else is negative, apparently. So, just keep on being yourselves, Twitter. Keep on being yourselves, and I'll be here to make a buck.